Okay, so I wanted to just real quick talk about the conflict that's going on between Iran and Israel, and now including the United States. And I just want to say up front, this is not about the constituents or the people, it's simply about the government leadership. This all, in a simpler form, Israel claimed that Iran was not being open enough regarding, and they were just stalling time regarding nuclear negotiations. So they did a preemptive attack against them with missiles on their nuclear sites. That hugely raised the escalation of the conflict. So naturally, Iran does the same thing, and now they're at a war. The United States, unannounced, does a surprise attack and sends a target package against Iran. That escalates the conflict. So of course now they're attacking military bases. It started with one. That is a huge issue. And what that tells us is that all three actors are not in good faith. Because the scenario was that people were still going, even with Iran stalling for time, they are not near a nuclear weapon, and certainly not a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks, as was communicated, which is incorrect by the Trump administration. That's just not realistic. That in 2 weeks they're going to go from 60% to 90% enriched uranium. Iran is not going to be able to do that. The next thing to think about in this, that the reason why it continues to be increased and escalated is because Iran is not going to back down, and they're not giving up. They sign a ceasefire and they stop. Let me tell you, they are not finished, and they're looking at vengeance. So what will happen is that the government is going to wait for the right opportunity. It's being claimed that Iran is the leader for state-sponsored terrorism throughout the world. If that's the case, what has happened is that they're going to use that against multiple military bases. And they won't look at it as just soldiers. They'll also say, what about civilian lives? Obviously, I think it's disgusting. And obviously, I do not approve of any nuclear program for them. But what I'm telling you, coming from a conflict analysis standpoint, that these are the things that are looked at, and it's not just about the moment. And the mistake that President Trump has made is he only is interested in the moment, the apprentice president moment. Like when the camera zooms in for that moment. This is about a long-term relationship with the entire world. And this is about the safety of the United States homeland and wherever we're at militarily throughout the world. And then, of course, all the other countries care about their citizens. Just because a ceasefire is negotiated does not mean that the terrorism will not come. And you all need to remember 9/11. And just because it was over 20 years ago doesn't mean that there's not people still alive who don't get it. Don't be happy and don't dance for a draft. Don't be happy and don't dance for a war, because your family members and your friends will die here or they will die over there somewhere. And there won't be parades like you're thinking right now. There won't be parties and dancing and music. It will be silent after caskets are brought in, and after military funeral after military funeral, and after innocent civilians have been murdered. Do not take this moment for granted, because from a conflict analysis standpoint, this is far from done.